Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host, Emily. And I hope you're all having a wonderful summer's day. It is grey AF currently at the moment on the 3rd of July, and it's just been raining. So, as you can see from the title of this pod, it's a little bit like I feel like I'm going to give summer advice when it's not really summer outside. Lols, but we're going to go for it anyway. And yeah, so today's episode, girlies, is all about how to not fluff it up during summer. So you've worked really hard Monday? I was thinking in my head that you worked really hard Monday till June, January till June. You've got yourself some decent results, but you've got a really busy social summer coming up. Now, I am going to come at this from a perspective of not having a coach, because one of the biggest things that, I pride myself on, or we pride ourselves on at Empower Coaching, is supporting you through social occasions. So, because I know a lot of my clients listen to the podcast as well, and I suppose half of this is going to resonate with you, but half of it's not, because when you have a plan, you can still make progress. So I obviously got married back in September 2022. I made progress the whole of that summer. I was social AF. All of my friends decided they were getting married that year as well. So I had hen dos, I had weddings. Then I had my wedding in the September/October, because we had 3. But I still made progress, and I was with a coach at that time. I had that massive accountability. So I think I'm going to start this pod today. This is aimed at, if you're not working with a coach at the moment, or a support network, or anything like a support network sounds like Alcohol Anonymous. No, but if you haven't got that accountability network, and you're just a gal, you're a healthy gym gal, you're feeling good, but you're dead social, and you're a bit worried about about your results going down the pan, this is where it's going to be for you. But like I said, even if you are working with a coach and you just like listening to the podcast, it's also going to help you as well. So let's get into it. I felt like I started off this podcast with like more of a disclaimer than anything. So yeah, right, let's get into it then. There wasn't a podcast actually last week, because what I've realised, Wednesdays are my podcast record days. If I don't record a podcast on a Wednesday, it ain't happening. And I was filming for Empowered Mamas, which is coming out at the end of summer this year. I had a full day of filming. Isn't it mad, actually? Last Wednesday was the hottest day of the year, and I swear this is the coldest day of summer we've ever had today, 1 week apart. Yeah, I was filming for that, so I couldn't get a pod in. So anyway, right, first thing we're going to cover, when it comes to thinking about messing our results up, going backwards. I've got social occasions, but I want to keep doing this. The biggest thing we need to address is mindset. Mindset is massive when it comes to you thinking about like a yeah, but a what if attitude, if that makes sense. So, you can't have it all, unfortunately. Like if you have got to a certain physique, let's say, by abstaining from alcohol, making really good choices, not eating out that often, being really like routine based with your gym, with your steps and everything, like that's amazing. But what you'd have to remember with results is what you did to get you there, you have to keep doing to stay there. Okay, so this is why I'm not like the biggest fan of like shreds and stuff. And I want all of my clients and all of you guys listen to this. I want you to get results because you're following doable guidance. A lot of us, if we make the time and prioritize, we can get the gym between 3 and 6 times a week. We can. Okay. And we can do that long term as well. Whereas there's some programs, these shred programs, that are getting you to work out in the morning and at night. Like, how is that sustainable? It's not, is it? So the results that you get from doing that probably aren't going to stick around. So my point, going back to the mindset, is what you've done, you're going to have to keep a certain aspect in over summer. And it's preparing your mindset of not thinking, well, I've worked really hard January to June, I'm going to press the fuck it button July, August, possibly a bit of September, and then I'll just be in the same situation in October. You won't be. You'll be a couple of steps backwards. Now, I am not saying that's not okay, Because as long as your mindset is okay with that, girl, you go and have a ball then, go and have a great time. And just be aware that you're probably not going to be in this position. Well, not 7 months pregnant like me, but like you're not going to be in the position you're in now at the end of September if you're not going to keep up what you're doing. So mindset is the big one of just maneuvering your expectations a little bit, that you don't have to be in shit hot shape all year round. And I know you might be thinking, hang on, what? Aren't you a fitness coach, Em? Isn't that your job? No, my job is to give you reality of you can be fit, healthy, strong, and confident, but your physique might change a little bit. I know mine does. Like I probably fall into this category of working really hard. I keep going to say Monday, January till June, July. I'll then keep up the gym because I love my gym, best friend goes. But I was saying this to someone in the gym this morning, actually, just about how the gym has been like my favourite thing throughout pregnancy. Anyway, I love my gym. I love my steps. We're going to get into all this in a minute. But in the summertime, you know, I love going on holiday. I love having barbecues and sitting outside and having like a glass of wine or an Aperol with friends. Like, I love that about summer. And so in my head and my expectations, I will work really hard up until like that summertime. And then I will be okay to get into like September, October and being like, well, that was so fun. Let's just like tidy up a little bit. Or like, you know, rein it in with like the social occasions and stuff for a little bit and then do it again at Christmas. Like, they're my two favourite times a year, I would say, is like summer, like July, August, and then December. The other months, like, don't ask me. That sounds awful, not don't ask me, but I mean, they're like my social months. And this is what I establish a lot with my clients as well. And then I can help them with their mindset around, okay, so are we going to be okay with, like, we're not going to move forwards, we're just going to not go backwards. How do we maintain it as closely as possible? So the first thing is your mindset. It is not prepping yourself that you have to go backwards. I am not saying that. It is prepping yourself that you might not move forwards, that you have been at the rate from January to June. Okay, so that is the first one, is preparing your mindset and your expectations for, okay, I'm probably going to maintain around here. And remember, girls, when we talk about maintenance, we're never talking about a singular number or a singular metric. Maintenance is like a spectrum. That's what you want to think, is that when you get to maintenance, and I say this again to a lot of my clients who go through fat loss phases, then we reverse diet them up and we bring them up to maintenance. We say, okay, maintenance, we're probably looking between £3 and £4. And that is maintenance. Maintenance isn't, okay, I want to get to 10.5 stone and stay 10 stone 7 the whole time. That's not real, because when you are at maintenance, that is when you talk about lifestyle, and you might have over 2 weeks for social occasions, but then you might have 2 weeks with no social occasions, and that's maintenance, because that's what real life looks like. So it's understanding that over summer you are probably going to either like maintain between £3 and £4 where you are, where you finished your getting your results, or where you are at the moment. Okay. So let's move on to like how can we get through it then? Like, what are the things that we can keep in place that are manageable around summer social events? So the first one is movement. Okay, so it's really, I'm lolling because I'm looking outside when it was just raining. It tends to be all right weather, so we can tend to get outside and we can still aim to get our steps in. It's still light in the morning, so we can still get up and get our workouts in no matter what like the day's throwing at us. We tend to wake up with a bit more energy, a bit more pizzazz in the summer because it's lighter earlier. So we are giving ourselves that opportunity to get up at, you know, maybe 5:30, 6 a.m. Whereas in the winter months, it's a lot harder to get up at 5:30 and 6, between 5:30 and 6, because it's so dark. Ollie made me laugh the other day. I'm sure everybody knows, but on the pod, Ollie is my husband. Because we were talking, obviously, our baby's due at the end of this year, like September time, not the end of this year, in a few months. And he was saying like how he loves going to the gym in the summer, but he's like, because I was like, what are we going to do about going to the gym? Like, I really want to go to the gym when the baby's here. And he was like, I won't go to the gym, it's fine.
I'll sack it off over winter again. And I was like, babe, that's so unhealthy. Come on, like this is not what I preach about. And he was like, it's fine because then I'll start again in the summer. And he's one of them really annoying people that he can do that. He's got a really active job. So shout out Buckley's Landscapes. But yeah, see, he is like active all day, every day. But when he goes to the gym, he reacts really well, gets dead fit, dead quick. You know, one of them annoying people. So yeah, he just made me laugh because he was like, I just won't go because I hate getting up that early when it's pitch black. Whereas now, obviously it's fine because it's light at like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? So he made me laugh because he was like, you can just do what you want with the gym because I just won't go. Right, so anyway, movements, getting up in summer tends to be a lot easier. Also, girls, I will give you a piece of advice here about keeping if you're doing morning walks, if you're doing morning gym, summer is the best time to concrete that habit in, because when we get to like October and the clocks do their thing and it becomes darker in the mornings, that time it's a lot harder to concrete a habit and set a habit in compared to now. Because yes, it's easier to get up when it's lighter, but you're also gonna start building the benefits of getting up in the morning, going for a morning walk, doing your gym session early on. Like you will reap the benefits of having more time in your day, knowing what that feels like when that box is ticked. Like that is what will motivate you to keep doing it. Okay, so for example, me, I have always got up and done a morning walk, whether it was raining, pitch black, sunny AF, light in the mornings, like it doesn't matter. I know morning walk for me means mental clarity for the rest of the day. It's got nothing to do with light, dark, or weather-wise. The joy I get from it and the positive I get from it is that mental clarity. That's what drives me to do it, and that's what you need to focus on now. If you are training in the mornings, good, keep it up, because when October comes and it is a little bit darker, you won't need that absolute drive to do it because it'll already be in a habit and you'll be getting the wins from doing it, if that makes sense. So that's what I want you to think about, is getting up outside, getting your gym sessions done, trying to keep your movement in over summer is honestly not just going to help with like energy balance of you going to your barbecues and being social, but it's also going to help with like mental health as well, and staying in that habit and not getting to the end of summer and being like, fucking hell, I haven't worked out all of summer. Like, and again, if you've been going to the gym, got two sides to this really. If you've been going to the gym and like really pushing yourself and really hammering it, like you don't have to do that all the time. You could just now go to the gym and be like, do you know what? Do you know what? I'm going to go to the gym for enjoyment now. And what that might look like is some days you rock up with loads of energy, so you smash it. And some days you'll be like, oh, do you know what? I've only got 45 minutes because I've got to go into work early because I've got something on after work. So rather than feeling like a failure because you can't do your typical hour and you've only got 40 minutes, it's saying like that box just being half ticked is okay than being not ticked at all because I'm in my maintenance era. Okay, because right now my goal is to enjoy life and have and just have the boxes being ticked rather than the boxes being perfectly coloured in. That's how I describe it, is just get something in the box, tick it off. So yeah, movement, getting outside, as I said, meet up with friends, go for walks, do hikes, do snowdon. I don't know any other. I went to say Valhalla. That is definitely not a mountain. That is a ride at Blackpool, maybe, used to be. Do things like that. Go to the beach, get outside. It's all part and parcel of movement and being active, and it will really help with, again, I hate bringing it all back to like fat loss and energy balance, but then I also know that's why I listen to the podcast. Like, but being active and outside is going to help with energy balance as well. And it might mean that you go to the beach and do a massive walk, but then you have fish and chips. That's okay. You're not doing it every week. And this is real life. Like, this is what we're living for, okay? And remember, I am going to keep bringing it back. This episode today isn't about moving forward. It's about not going backwards. Okay. So, next one then. Finish fish and chips. Let's move on to food. How do we not fuck it up with food over the summer? Because it's all meet you at the pub. Do you want a barbecue? it's very, what is it now, like food stores and stuff everywhere, isn't it? Little food stores. So how do we manage food in summertime without going backwards? Well, the first one comes down to do what you can. Plan when you can. So if you are meeting friends after work to have drinks in the sunshine, you go into a pub, you're probably going to have dinner there. You are still fully in control of breakfast, lunch, and pre-going out snack. Okay, it doesn't mean there are things you can do. You can look ahead at the menu. We'll get to that in a second, but you can look ahead at the menu. But my first point when it comes to food is being okay with the freedom of and the spontaneity that summer can bring. And it's okay because if you've worked really hard already all of this year and you're feeling really good in yourself, like if your goal at the moment is to maintain, it's okay to not plan ahead and pick something on the menu that is goal focused to move you forward rather than I just fancy it. That's okay. And this, like, again, anyone who's listening to this who maybe isn't at the goal yet and still wants to make progress over summer, then maybe you do need to start thinking, okay, I'm going to pick something that's goal focused. But when you get to that goal, girls, it is about having that freedom and that flexibility to have what you fancy, not what you think is best for your goal. You can't live your life like that and be truly, truly happy all of the time. You have to have flexibility. And the reason I'm saying flexibility, because I don't want you to take this as, oh, I can just eat what I want all of the time, every time. Well, no, you can't, because that is going to see you go backwards. But flexibility is working really hard, going out, having a bit of what I fancy, and then being a little bit more health conscious around everything else. And again, the term that I use here is health conscious, not weight conscious, not fat loss conscious, because from a health point of view, sometimes choosing a salad is better for your gut and your digestion. It's not all about the waistline than compared to picking deep fried chicken wings and chips. I've spoke about this recently the other week on the podcast that I did. I am pregnant, in case you didn't know, and I haven't waffled on about it. But even eating out now or making food choices now, obviously I am not trying to stay in shape, bunny ears incoming. Like, I am trying to be health conscious because I want to feel healthy. I genuinely put down that I felt like shit in my first trimester because I couldn't even acknowledge a vegetable. Even now, sometimes I'm like, what? Like, it was biscuits, it was carbs, it was, that is where my head was at. And I think that's why I felt terrible in the first trimester, because I wasn't eating well. Bringing it back to this then, being health conscious does not mean that you are being weight conscious, okay? And again, trying to shift that mindset if you are eating out with food a lot is thinking, okay, so I really want the stone wood fired pizzas. Don't know why I just said that. I feel like a lot of pubs do them. Okay, great. Side order, chips. No, salad. One salad. I'm not that arsed about the chips. I'm just getting them because in my head I'm thinking, ooh, pizza, bad food, best get chips with it. What the fuck? Fucking button, bang, bang, bang. Like, it's shifting it. You can have a pizza and that's fine. And it's not bad and it's not naughty. It might not be goal driven, but that's okay because flexibility. But then you can have a salad with it because you're getting your micronutrients, your fibre, and it's balance. Okay, so and again, balance, maintenance, flexibility, all under that same umbrella. We're not talking about moving forwards, we're talking about maintaining and being okay with it, because our mindset is already in that position of, you know what, summer, I'm probably not going to move forward, I'm going to stay where I am, probably up and down a little bit. But yeah, so that's what you have to think about, flexibility, rather than pressing the fucking button. If you are, I've touched on this a little bit, but if you are being a little bit more like, well, what does health conscious look like? You can then start to look ahead at the menu. So, for example, I said before, social occasions might be 3 social occasions in 1 week, nothing the week after. You might have done 2 social occasions. You've been to both, you'd had wine at both, you'd had barbecue at both, you're going into the third one and you're thinking, I don't feel good, like I feel a little bit sluggish, I want to make better choices for how I feel. Then, okay, things to do there are look ahead at the menu. Okay, choose what you're having before you get there. That is absolutely golden key. Is there something? This is a really good one. High protein on that menu. Because if there isn't, make sure you have like a protein yogurt before you go. So you're getting that protein in before you go. And then when you're there, it doesn't, you might then just pick something off the side menu because you're not that hungry. One of the biggest fails that I see a lot is that people will say, there was nothing high protein on the menu. Or I say people, clients, calling them out. There was nothing high protein on the menu. So I just had this, and it's like, a deep fried chicken curry or something. And I'm like, right, okay. But you looked at the menu before. You knew there was nothing on the menu. So why weren't you proactive and having something before you went? Which means when you're at the restaurant, you could have something that was a little bit smaller, because you've rocked up to that restaurant fucking starving and then eating this big amount of food that's got minimal protein in it. So it's not going to fill you up. It's higher in calories, higher fats, higher carbs. So we can be, if we want to be, still proactive and still be okay with like not it being like super goal driven. Okay. It is probably the most relaxed episodes I've ever done, by the way, as well. So yeah, and then picking things like salads, fresh stuff, stuff that's going to hydrate you, because that's the next thing on my food list is making or maintaining progress around summer when it comes to food. Yeah, you have to have that flexibility of some things are going to be like your high protein, your salads, your health choices, and some things are going to not be. But try and not do it with the mindset of I have to have this, and rather I want this, but I'm going to have this as well because I want that as well. It's so hard. I don't even know if that made sense of me saying that, but I do feel like sometimes I've practiced this for years and years and years. So for me, it is second nature. For example, I go to my mum's for a barbecue. We're going to Ollie's mum's at the weekend for a barbecue. I don't like barbecue stuff like sausages, burgers, and stuff like that. Not because of the calorie content, not because of that. I mean, I'm partial to a bit of a burnt sausage, but that's about it. But because of how it makes me feel, it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel sluggish. I don't even love eating it. So I take my own fish. And I'm normally the one who will say, I'll make the salad, no worries. And if you follow me on Instagram, which hopefully you do, you will see a lot of the time I post about it. I have my sea bass, a bit of salmon, some rocket with pomegranate, a little bit of halloumi on there, might have like jack potato. Like, you can still fully enjoy a barbecue, but it doesn't have to be a burger, a sausage, some more red meat, some other bits on there. I don't know. Like, you can be proactive and still enjoy it. And it's shifting that mindset. Like, if you've worked hard all of this year and then you get to summer, you don't have to press the fucking button and go back to you last summer, who was eating everything, living off crisps, like smashing the beers. Like, you don't have to be like that. You can be like, actually, do you know what? I really want to drink. Whereas last year I was having a whole bottle of Pinot. This year I'm actually going to take Pinot and soda. I'm going to have a long drink because I really enjoy the wine, but I really enjoy not having a hangover the next day or feeling hydrated at the same time. It's owning that new you action. That's what's going to maintain your results over summer. Is like I said, keeping a handful of the things that you were doing that got you there in place now, and then adding little things around it. So if you want to have a handful of crisps, have a handful of crisps. Don't eat a share bag of crisps twice a week to yourself like you were last year. That's what was fucking you over. So you can see how that word again comes up, that flexibility. It's not about one thing or the other thing. It's just about having that maintenance mindset of what can I keep in place here that's gonna not send me backwards, but also still allow me to have that freedom, that flexibility, that enjoyment. Okay, so we've done like the barbecue thing. So yeah, own up if you're getting invited to a barbecue. Take your salad, take your fish, take your protein. We spoke about protein on menus before you go out. Have a little protein snack, have a little protein shake. Look ahead if you want to, but also again, you might turn up somewhere to a restaurant, to a barbecue. They've said don't bring anything, and you might turn up and you're like, oh, I hate everything here. I'll just have the pasta salad. Like, again, them social occasions might happen, and it's not the end of the world if they do. If it's one meal out of your whole week that is like not in your control, like, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so like I said before, plan when you can. I'm nearly done actually on this one. Alcohol, drinks, let's touch on that. This is probably going to be the big one. Probably should have started with this, but I will say, I think it wasn't, I don't think it was last week, the week before, maybe. I did a whole episode on alcohol, which I think was very good timing for summer. Please go and listen to that because I'm not digging into it all now. But what I will say is this: cocktails are going to be really calorific, really sugary. They're not going to be great for your waistline. I know Aperol Spritz is the best drink in the whole world. I'm here for it, but be selective. If you are going to do a whole bottle of Aperol every single week, then no, you are not maintaining. You are going to go backwards because there is a lot of sugar and calories in that. But being selective, maybe having one a week, two a week of Aperol, and then choosing a better drink that you like. Fresh vodka, soda, fresh lime, gin, slimline tonic, big glass, loads of loads of ice in it, fill it up. Being selective with your drinks is again a game changer. But what I will say is, again, with alcohol, you've got to be okay with, if you're gonna drink every week, which I know some people do in summer as well, which I wouldn't recommend. But here's what you're gonna do if you do that: is just be okay that actually by the end of summer, your waistline probably is going to have increased. Your tone in your body probably going to be slightly decreased, okay? And as long as you're okay with that, we're going to get onto the final step in a minute. Like, that's okay, because if this is your time of year, that if you think about, I call it like the life triangle. Like, you've got training, you've got relationships, you've got socials. Like, something has to be at the top. Not everything can be at the top all the time. Your relationship, work, studying, something always takes priority at the top of your life triangle. And if in summer your training, your diet isn't at the top, that's okay. But you've got to be okay with then, well, my physique is not going to be the same now as when my training and my diet is at the top, because I'm taking that sacrifice. And as long as you're okay with that, cool. But what I don't want to see is, again, anybody pressing the fucking button. This is why I've done this episode, is that you can maintain really good results within that scale of maintenance. Remember, it's a scale, and not go completely backwards, like where you've done before. You've worked hard in the run up to summer, and then you've pressed fuck it, and you are, not given a glance about what's going in your mouth at any point, from alcohol to food. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't care. Have a little bit of caring about it. And like I said, with alcohol, that is going to be probably the biggest driving force of where you end up post summer, is loads of drinking in the week, like wine, prosecco, all of that. It does all add up. And again, please go and listen to the alcohol podcast if this is the one that you're first catching up with. It's going to explain a lot in that. But again, once you've listened to that, it's being okay with the impact alcohol is going to have, and knowing that at the end of the summer, you're probably going to look and feel a little bit different. But that's okay, because then you are going to get a plan. Okay, so this is my last little point, and then we're going to wrap it up for today. Is getting a plan of, what does my post-summer action plan look like? So if we are relaxing a little bit over summer with food, with not prioritizing like workouts being done maximum effort every single time, with alcohol being a little bit higher, what is my plan to rectify that? Because that isn't the lifestyle you want to live all of the time, because it doesn't make you feel good. Okay, it might be good short term, doesn't make you feel good long term. And this is like the final thing that I recommend, is get your plan in place now. Start thinking ahead. This is why, little plug here, but we do the Fit and Six in September. There is purpose and there is meaning behind it. Fit and Six is the empowered group coaching that we do. It's all about reinstalling them healthy habits, that knowledge around food, training, water, steps. It's that kickstart to get back into it. It is prime time in September. You've been through summer. The kids have been off. You've been wild. You've been out of routine. You've been wild. You've been out of routine here, there, and everywhere. Food and drinks have been a little bit high. The kids go back to school. Fit and Six starts, and it is your time to regroup. If you want more info, guys, head over to my Instagram. just message me and say, can I have more info on the Fit and Six? I'll send you the link to sign up, or in my bio, you can go on the wait list for it. For their sale, places go on sale in August. But this isn't really a plug; it's just more of an example of why we do it in September. Is because we know that is generally what people do. Is that they have this summer of things being a little bit more relaxed, but then they want to come back and they want to sort the shit out, and nobody wants to just get to like October, November and stick a jumper on and feel frumpy, because then party season's here and you want to feel nice at Christmas, because guess what? It happens again at Christmas, and you want to be in that position where you feel confident enough to relax a little bit for a couple of weeks and know that you're not going to undo all hard work. So my advice would be, what is your plan post-summer to rein that in? Whether that is working with us, which we'd love to have, yeah, but or is it actually I'm going to do a dry 60 days, or I'm going to set a little challenge of getting to the gym, no misses, 5 times a week, because I was a little bit inconsistent over the summer. But whatever it is, make sure at the end of summer you have got something in place that is going to be like, that was amazing, loved every second of it, it's now time to get my shit back together. And that will not only get your shit back together after all this time has passed, but it'll make you feel excited going through summer, knowing, not dread. Like, it's going to get, this whole episode is hopefully going to get you through summer thinking, right, my mindset's in the right place, and know I'm going to relax. I've worked really hard. I'm going to have a little bit of flexibility. I'm going to have a little bit of lifestyle. And then come September, I'm going to sign up to the Fit and Six. I'm going to reboot myself. Or I'm going to write out a plan of 5 things that I'm going to do in September that's going to reboot myself. I'm going to speak to the girls in work. We're going to make an accountability group, and we're going to do it together. That's a really good one. That's why the Fit and Six works, because we keep you accountable. But that is my last thing. So, recap. How to not fluff it up over summer. Get your mindset in maintenance and flexibility. Them 2 words, okay? You are not pushing forwards. You are maintaining. Hair mouth. You are maintaining. You are going to enjoy lifestyle, and you're going to be okay with flexibility. You're going to keep your movement nice and high. So you're going to be active. You're going to go on days out. You're going to suggest walks. You're going to walk to meet your friend rather than driving there, okay? You're going to install that habit of getting up early in the morning so it's easy to keep up over winter. Keep the gym in for your mentality, your physical health, but it doesn't have to be PB after PB. That's okay. We can just tick the box. When it comes to food over summer, making that balanced, healthy choice, having that flexibility. You can have whatever you want, but remember that want isn't just in the fucking button zone. That want can be that you want to feel healthy after this meal, that you don't want to feel sluggish, you want your energy to be high. So then you pick food in line with that want. So have what you want, but get clear on what you want first. There are other things that you can do, such as like look at the menu, choose a salad, choose a lighter option, have protein before you go, okay? But always remember, like, if this is your time to be flexible, do not restrict, because you will just be miserable. Okay. Or over restrict, should I say. And then the last one was alcohol, which we've covered, because that is the big one. If you are going to be a boozy Susie for the next 9-10 weeks, you got to be prepared that at the end of that, you are not going to be feeling in your best shape, mentally, physically, energy-wise, and all of that. So try and be selective. Have what you want, but again, just make better choices when you can. Think about it. Go listen to the alcohol podcast. But just being selective and remembering that this time last summer, if you did live it up 3 times a week, that's why you were a stone heavier by the end of September. And you don't want that. So be selective. Have your big days out, have your big barbecues, and then just say, have the non-alcoholic free stuff if it's a school night, or if you're going to meet your mate after work, because remember that overall, like we said, what got us to the point of getting results, we have to keep an element of that in place to maintain them results. Okay, and the last one is get a plan in place for September. Come work with us. Either the Fit and Six, or write a plan now of what you want to be doing come September that you know isn't going to happen in summer because of the kids, because of the social occasions, but know that that plan is there, ready and waiting for you, because that will motivate you and keep you excited and give you that little bit of like relief of it's okay that things aren't going 100% to plan over the next few weeks, because come September, I'm committed that they will. Okay, girls, I hope this helped. Like I said, it's not very sunny at the moment, but hopefully summer is coming, and I hope this episode is going to support you and reassure you that if you've worked hard all this year and you're looking to maintain and not go backwards, follow the advice and the guidance in this pod and you shouldn't go far wrong. If you do want any more details on the Fit in 6, please fire a little DM over to me on Instagram @_em.powered, and I will speak to you soon. Have a lovely afternoon, guys. I'll be back next week with another pod, and I'll catch you then. Love you, bye.